guys, welcome back to another episode of Minutes with Mimi. It's your beautiful host Mimi, as always. So, the pod is basically a year, approximately a year. I don't know how to calculate this thing since I started it on December 31st of 2022. Does it become a year on November 31st or December 31st? I don't know. If we are calculating it based on the day I started it, will it become a year in November or in December? I want to say December because I mean you celebrate your birthday on the day you were born, right? That's when you turn New Year. Anyway, so yeah, the pod is basically approximately officially 1 year, and I'm super excited about it. So I felt like for the last episode of season 1, that's also true. Season 1 is coming to an end. I don't even know how I feel about the episodes that were put out in season 1, but I'm glad that they were I'm glad that they were put out. So I thought like the best way to end season 1 would be a question tag, a get to know your host question tag. So I put up the question thingy on Instagram, on my Instagram story. Is why you should follow me on Instagram. And I got some questions which I would be replying in today's episode. So yeah, let's start. Okay, so question 1 is, what is your full name and where did Mimi come from? So my full name is Chimema Deborah Ugo. It is literally on my Instagram, to be very honest. Okay, I don't think Deborah is there, but yeah, that's my full name. So Mimi is what my siblings call me. It's like what I'm called at home. And I don't know now. It just that's where it came from. I don't know where the name came from, honestly, because none of my names from Mimi, unless you want to remove it from the member and Jimemma. But really. So I don't know. I don't know where it came from. You'll have to ask my parents for that one. Why did I choose to use it for the podcast, Sha? Is because it just went, minutes with Mimi. I mean, it kind of just goes with the whole thing. But I still put my name like underneath, like on the podcast page on Spotify, on everywhere actually. My name is still there, Chimema Ugo, as the owner. So yeah, that's where Mimi came from, and I just felt like the person that I wanted the podcast audience to know is really Mimi. Like the fun, carefree, chatty, bubbly, has a lot to say part of me that a lot of people don't get to like experience. I didn't want people to get to know the So I didn't want you guys to get to know the like over competitive wants to pass serious studious Chimema or the annoying stuck up Deborah. You get like that's just it. I just wanted you guys to get to know me. Which is weird. That sounds like I have different personalities, but it is what it is. Okay, next question. What inspired the name Mini to Mimi? I feel like I've already talked about that in the first one. Basically, it just rhymed. That wasn't the first name. I actually opened a podcast account on Anchor like a year before I started this one. And I've even forgotten what the name was, to be very honest. I don't remember what the name was. And we went through that phase of me changing the name. I think I changed it like 3 times. At some point, I was like, let me just use my name. Let's just be like the Chimema podcast. But that was just not giving. So we landed in Minutes to Mimi. And I mean, you get to enjoy. Okay, my description literally says live, laugh, love, cry, and experience each minute with Mimi. I mean, it just kind of flows. Okay, next question. Why did you start a podcast? Huh. I just felt like I needed to be doing something creative. Because all my life, I've always assumed that I'm not a very creative person, which is a lie. That's a big lie. Because you can give me one topic or one theme, and I can break it down into like 5 topics that you could possibly talk about. If that's not being creative, I don't know what is. And then I also felt like I have a lot to say on so many things. And I talk to myself a lot. That sounds like I'm mad, but I promise I'm not. I'm not crazy. But yeah, I talk to myself a lot. And I was like, these are opinions that I should probably share. Since I don't want to share them with individuals, I may as well share them with an audience that probably shares my views and all of that. And it's just a fun way to document, what I think. Because, like, now we have gone 1 year doing this thing. Next year, my views will probably change on some things. My opinions probably change on some things. I just feel like it's a nice way to document my thoughts. And then when I look back at it, I'll be like, oh my God, did I really think like that? Was that really my opinion on this matter? That kind of thing. It's just a fun way to grow and create content, I guess. What's the biggest lesson you've learned this year? Um, this year, I feel like one thing that I definitely learned and I'm trying to apply more is just live and let live. Live and love and light, literally, because you can control what you can control and you can't control what you can't control. So just live. Live every day as a new day. Take whatever the new day brings to you, the new month brings to you. Just take it in good faith. Pray about it, because the only person that can really control everything is God at the end of the day. So don't kill yourself for what you cannot do. Do the one that you can do. Do what is humanly possible and rest. So live and let live is the one thing I would say I learned this year, because nonsense happens in life and there's nothing you can do about it. So yes, you may be sad in the moment, but just know that life does not end there. There's always more you get. As far as you're alive, there is hope. I think that's the same. Where there's life, there's hope. So just be glad first of all that you're alive and hope for better. Next question. Not a question. I just think you're cute. This one is from my sister. Thank you. I am cute though, aren't I? For the longest time, however, I wanted to be hot, not cute. But at this point, I think I've just accepted that I'm cute. Let's just take it like that. Next question: where do you see your podcast in the next five, or in 5 years? Um. Okay, so this is the first year. I feel like I would love to have more of an audience. I would have love to have more engagement, more opportunities. Like, podcasting is a whole thing now. Almost every company or everything owns a podcast at this point in time. So there are just many more opportunities that could come from it, and that's what I hope for the next 5 years, more subscribers, more stable subscribers, more stable listeners. Just good things. Sponsorships, fingers crossed. Sponsorships, definitely. I the one thing I would want though is to have like a studio sort of setup kind of thing, or like producers. But that's the one thing I would love to have in the next 5 years, or on the 50th year of the podcast. Like, I pray that it would have grown to that level where I would have a stable recording time, stable studio time, stable production, like a production team kind of thing. Like, yeah, but we'll see. We'll see. Next question: do I have any siblings? Yes, I have three siblings. I wanted to say four, but then I'll be counting myself. But am I not a good sister? I am my own sibling. Anyway, I have three siblings, two older sisters and one younger brother. How are you? I'm fine. I'm actually fine. This month has not been bad. I'm currently on holiday, so I'm living the best life. I'm living the best life that I can live. I'm eating, I'm sleeping, I'm watching TV. I'm adding weight. Thank the Lord. So I'm fine. How tall are you? I feel like whoever asked this question knows that knows how tall I am, to be very honest. So I don't know if I owe you an answer. But seeing that I've come to terms with the fact that I'm short, I am either 5'2" or 5'3". I'm not sure. Last time, sorry, either 5'3" or 5'4". Let's just say I'm within 5'2" to 4". I'm not quite sure. The last time that I checked my height, I was 5'3". So let's keep it there. I'm 5'3". I am not tall. I am a very tiny, cute human being. Do you have a best friend? No, I do not. But I have friends, close friends that hmm, I don't know how to put it. I have friends that are good, that I love, that love me. I have people for different things. Everybody has a role in your life. So I don't have one particular best friend, unless you want to call God my best friend, because that's it. How many countries have you visited? I have visited 2 countries. But hear me out. If you land in the airport of a country, technically you're on the country's soil. So I want to say three. You know, because I was on their ground. I was breathing their air. So I'm going to say three. I've been to South Africa, the US, and Germany's airport. Yeah. So technically, I've been to Germany. What was your favorite or worst subject in secondary school? My favorite subject for the longest time was English. But before English was in senior secondary. In junior secondary, what was my favorite subject? I don't think I had one. It was probably like home economics or something because it was so easy. Then my worst subject in junior secondary was agriculture. I hated that subject so much. And I still hated it in senior secondary to be honest. But then in senior secondary, when I started to offer like chemistry and physics and biology and the science subject, physics became automatically became my worst subject. Like it was terrible. I till this day I do not know how I passed that in. God did. Then after I dropped physics after SS1, maths became my worst subject. It was just yeah. And then English became my favorite. Who is your role model? I don't have a role model. I don't anytime I say that I don't have a role model, people be looking at me like you're like, do you think you know it all? Or do you think you don't need anybody to look up to? I'm not saying that I don't have people to look up to, but I feel like my own definition of role model is like somebody that you want your life to resemble their own. You get like you want technically you want to be this person. That's my own idea of a role model. So I will not say I have one. I will say that my role model or who I really, really look up to is who I want to be in my head. That that makes sense to me. That like my role model is whoever I envision myself being. Let's say like 10 years from now, 20 years from now. That's what I look up to. That's what I'm striving for. Okay. So, what sports do you play, or have you played, or was your favorite sport? I am not athletic. At least I like to think. Okay, maybe if I put in effort, I might be, but effortlessly, I'm not. I am not athletic. So I used to run. If you're saying what sports did I play, I used to run in like senior secondary, like my SS1 and 2. I used to run. I've not played any other sports besides that. We used to have my siblings and I had badminton rackets and shuttles. We lost all the shuttles because we were terrible at the game, and that was the end of that journey. What else? We also used to have a basketball hoop. No, okay, that's just it. Basketball was not for me. Okay, I ride a bicycle. I can ride a bicycle if that counts as a sport. And if that counts as a sport, then I'll say that's my favorite sport that I can play. But generally, my favorite sport to like watch is probably gymnastics. That's the only thing I watch when they're doing the Olympics. That and ice skating, figure skating. I don't know which one is called. Oh, I'm racing. But yeah, that's it. I'm not a very sporty person. What is one thing that annoys you the most? This is a very general question because I don't know if you're asking one thing that annoys me personally, like if somebody does it to me, or one thing that just generally annoys me. But I'll say one thing that generally annoys me is seeing poor people have too many children. And people are going to be like, oh, so they should not give birth, they should not I'm not saying they shouldn't give birth to. Everybody has the right to recreate. But think about it. You are not able to feed yourself, especially in this our dear country, Nigeria, that is already hard like this. You yourself, you have not eaten one good food in one day. You're living in somewhere that is not conducive, should not be lived in, to be very honest, but that's the best that you can afford. And then you now want to go and have 6 children and introduce them to this suffer. To me, that's just wickedness. So that's just plain cut wickedness. It's not fair. because they didn't ask for that life. You're just bringing them inside this world now to start from suffer. So that is one thing that really annoys me. But I feel like it's something that I cannot, I cannot change. I just feel like it's very, very, very unfair to those children. If you have seen that, you have checked your life and you have seen that you're not even comfortable on your own, why have so many children? Well, yeah, that's one thing that annoys me. And somebody asked books or movies. Movies, I beg. I know that reading will brighten your intellectual and open your mind, but I'm going to watch a movie. Make the book into a movie and I'll watch it. That's the best thing to ever happen. Movies that were adapted from books, honestly. But it's not like I don't like to read. But if I had to choose one, I would watch movies all day, every day. What's on my mind? Somebody asked, "What's on your mind?" Generally, what's on my mind right now is the pap that I want to eat this night because I'll get to drink milk. Generally, what is on my mind? I'm going to assume you're asking like what's bothering me or what do I think about the most. What's on my The one thing that I think about the most, to be very honest, is my walk with God. I don't like when people call it that. It's like my faith journey. I don't know what to call it. My Christendom. That's the one thing I think about the most. There's a constant battle in my mind of, am I doing the right thing? Like, I hope that whatever decision I'm making is being guided by the Holy Spirit. It's just a lot to think about, to be very honest. For me, I don't know if other people have these battles in their mind, but I do. And there's the battle of trying, I don't know how to explain, like, I'm trying not to, what words did I use to explain this? So the battle is like, try not to conform to the world, but also try not to be over religious and then lose the whole point of Christianity. You get, like, the point of Christianity is not do's and don'ts, but at the same time, he says, if you love me, you will keep my commandments. And you have to agree that if God loves you too, he will not give you commands that are impossible. He won't give you commands that are going to be that are going to result in bad things for you. So you just have to trust his way and go with it. But as the youth that I am, there are so many temptations, there are so many things that I don't even know what else to call them that could like just sway you away. So there's the constant battle of try not to be over religious because that's not the point of Christianity. The point of Christianity is to know God and to love him and to have him love you. But also try not to conform to the world. It's a serious battle in my mind. So that is what is constantly on my mind every single day. Besides that, what's on my mind? I mean, next year or December, depending on when my school chooses to open, I will be entering my final year in school, and that was on my mind. Though I'm thinking about my project. I'm thinking about expenses that are going to be spent in this final year because everybody knows that final year is expensive. Mm, it's expensive. I'm thinking about all the other projects and assignments that will happen within the year. But ultimately, I'm just trusting that it will be a good experience. I mean, it's my last year in school. I may as well enjoy it. There would be stress. There's no year in school that's not stressful, but God, there, there is God. So, yeah, I'm also thinking about what the podcast should look like for next year because I really, really, really I want to be intentional enough to make it grow, you know. Like we have started off, we have finished the whole year, but the first year cannot resemble the second year. There has to be improvements, there has to be betterment, betterness. So yeah, that's something else that I'm thinking about. What next year? What type of episode to record? If to have more guests, just a lot. Yeah, that's basically what's on my mind. Then somebody asked extrovert or introvert. I don't know. Generally, or universally, I think the world will call me an introvert because I've already said it multiple times that I am not a very outgoing person. I don't put myself out there. I don't make friends. Like, I don't come out of my house. But then again, there's the part of me that can be extroverted when I'm around people that I'm comfortable with. So, universally, I guess you can call me an introvert. Mhm. Then, favorite movie or book? My favorite movie is my favorite book, and my favorite book is my favorite movie. My favorite movie is Pride and Prejudice, the one that was made in 2005. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful piece of work, beautiful piece of art. Oh my god, you should watch it. I'm sorry, but I've not seen any romance movie or novel that tops Jane Austen. I've not seen it. I will beat my chest and say that I've not seen it. So that is definitely my favorite movie. Also my favorite book. It was wonderful. Ooh, only thinking about it alone gives me happiness. Okay, next question. What's my worst fear? Was I don't know why I'm putting my where people put you. I feel like I should ask you, but then I'm asking myself, whatever. What's your worst fear? My worst fear, there I have a couple. I have a couple of worst fears. But couple means two. I have a lot of worst fears. Let me just put it like that. But then there are not a lot, like a myriad. I don't know how to pronounce the word of fears. I'll just mention the ones that are at the top of my head. My first and utmost, like the worst of them all, is the fear of going to hell. I'm sorry. And I know that Christians are going to be like, that should not be a fear for you. Jesus has died for you. As far as you believe in him, you trust him, you know that you're going to heaven. But my dear, there's this part of me that likes to control things. Okay. And I'm not saying it is good though. I'm not saying that Christians should doubt whether they are capable of going to heaven or not, because the truth is that Jesus has died for you, and because of him you are made righteous and you are going to heaven. That's the truth. But personally, I would like to know what is going to take place in judgment on the judgment day. I would like to know the exact and the particular criteria that will take me to heaven. Because imagine that I'm living my life now and I'm thinking that, okay, I'm serving God, I'm doing the best I can, and then I reach there and they tell me, my dear, space, there's no space again. Or, it wasn't good enough. Jesus. My dear, that's the worst fear. That's my worst fear ever. And I'm trying to like work on it because I should trust God enough to take me home to him as his child, you know. I should trust that it is not necessarily by my works that I am made righteous enough to even be called a child of God in the first place, let alone to go to heaven. But yeah, that's my worst fear. Then another thing I fear is that, imagine if I'm in a position where they're like, you have to denounce God or die. My fear is that I will not be able to die for God. Like, just imagine it. Because anybody right now, when they ask you, you'll be like, oh, I'll give up my life for Christ. But you're not in that situation. You're not in the situation. Human beings like their lives, though. Human beings, we like our lives. We are willing to do any and everything to survive. Like, it is instinct. So imagine you're put in that position and you're not able to give up your life for Christ that died for you. Whew. I don't even know how to feel about it, but that's one of my fears, that I would ever be in that position. But God forbid I'll ever be in that position. Next fear that is right on the tip of my mind is just the fear of failing in life. Because you have only one life to live. Literally on earth, you have only one life to live. And imagine ending up being a failure or not achieving the things that you want to. That one is a big fear. It's just the fear of not succeeding in life. You get so, or the fear of not being who I've envisioned, like I talked about in the role model part, who I've envisioned myself to be, and I don't get to that point. It's gonna be sad. Oh, there's also the fear of having children, not just birthing them, because that one on its own is a big fear. But I mean, it's natural. Everybody gives birth, so I pray that my own birthing will be normal. But then there's the fear of raising these children, because I don't even know where the world is headed right now. You can agree with me that a lot of nonsense is happening on the streets of the world. The wars, the inflation, the poverty, the the non-conformists, if we can put it like that. And it's like, how are you sure that you're going to raise these children in a manner that you'll be proud of, in a manner that God will be proud of. Because they can be swayed so easily these days. Like it's as if the devil is just walking on the street. It just scares me. No, it scares me because you're entrusting lives in my hands to mold these people. I don't even know how my own parents did it. For 4 people, you trained 4 people into whatever they are now. My dear, that's a big fear for me. Then somebody asked Android or iPhone. I beg, browse it. Browse which one is better. Anyone you want to buy, buy. I don't really care. Okay, do I have any phobias? Yes, I have. I'm afraid of heights sometimes. I don't even know how that works, but sometimes I'm afraid of heights, depending on how high and depending on how open the place is. Like if I'm standing on a balcony of, let's say, like the 6th floor or the 7th floor, you best believe I'm going to be. I have these intrusive thoughts that I'm like, what if I just fall from here? Or what if the wind blows me off? Or what if my phone falls from here? And it's not nice. So sometimes I'm afraid of heights. But the one thing that I would say is a major, major phobia for me is trypophobia. I'm afraid. When I say I'm afraid, I'm disgusted by compacted holes. Ugh. Only thinking about it, I'm already clenching the tip of my toes. I cannot look at that thing. Like you know how honeycombs look. I can't look at it. It's disgusting to me. It is irritating. It is nerve wracking. No, no. Then I'm also afraid of doors locking. Like in small spaces, it's not claustrophobia. I've forgotten what the name of this one is. It's not claustrophobia because claustrophobia is that you're afraid of small spaces. I'm not afraid of small spaces, but I'm afraid that the door will not open again. Like, take for instance, in my bathroom, I am afraid that if I should close the door, like latch it onto the lock, it's not going to open again. Or if I'm in a storeroom, I'm afraid that the door will not open again and I'll be stuck there. That's a phobia I have. Okay. Next question. What scares you about aging? I want to assume that this question is from the 2 episodes I dedicated to turning 18 called How Dare You Call Me an Adult When I Have the Shoe Size of a Child. What scares me about aging? I already talked about it in those episodes. Honestly, I feel like I came to the conclusion in the second part of that. Should I call it a series? I don't know. In the second part of that what really scares me about aging is not being successful at it. Because you're not getting any younger. You can't revert the hand of the clock. You can't revert time. You can't get time back. As today is ending, I cannot get it back. So the thought of just growing older and not having figured out anything, or not, I don't even know, like just not being able to say that, okay, this is what I want for my future, or this is how my this is just not being able to control things, basically. Not being able to control exactly point to point what is going to happen to me and my future. That is what scares me about growing older. Because I'm growing older, I'm not getting younger. I expect myself to be successful. I expect myself to achieve the things I want to achieve. So imagine if I cannot, and I just grow old and old and older and older, and I reach a certain age and I'm like, okay, I've not even achieved half the things that I wanted to do. Say I'm 50 and I have no stability in my life, I have nothing. That's what scares me, because you really cannot tell. That's what scares me, not being able to control it. Um, would you ever consider living abroad? Hmm. In as much as Nigeria is in a terrible economic and security wise state, because the security in this country just keeps going down the drain. And don't even get me started on the economy. But in as much as all that is happening, to be very honest, I don't see myself living abroad. I see myself earning in abroad currency and living here and enjoying my life. That's what I see. But living abroad, I don't. The question is, will I consider it? Yes, I'll consider it. Actually, it is a consideration. But I feel like no matter what, I'll still come back. I just feel like I'll still come back. I don't know why. But that's me now, Tomorrow it might change. Next year it might change. But for me now, this 18-year-old child that you're asking this question, that is still dependent on her mommy, I don't know. I would say no right now. But then again, if I do get to do my masters, which by God's grace I would definitely not want to do it in this country. So it's a possibility. Yes, I can consider it. What do you want to do after school, career wise? Mm, Obviously, I want to continue podcasting. Career wise, if you're asking like what I want to use my certificate to do, I saw one post on Instagram and they were like, now that you have a communication degree, what are you going to use it to do? And the person was like, communicate, duh. So yes, that's what I'm going to do career wise. I'm going to communicate. Anyways, on a serious note, I want to be an on-air presenter, a broadcaster, possibly a TV host, red carpet host. Basically, hosting, broadcasting. That's what I see using my certificate to do. So yeah. So if you know any radio stations that are looking for employees, I'm here for you. When was the last time you cried? I don't know. I don't know the last time I cried. Will I say I've not cried this month? Let me think. Let me think. Let me think. Hmm. I really don't know. I've really been having a good time on this holiday. So if I have cried, I don't remember. But I'm sure it has not been long because I'm a crier. But I can promise you one thing. I will cry on December 31st. I will cry on New Year's Eve. Okay? If that makes you happy. But I don't remember the last time I cried. Why do you use sarcasm a lot? The person that asked me this question knows me and I know the person. And it also sounds like what my brother will ask me. My brother says that I cannot answer a question straight. But my problem is, why are you asking me an obvious question? I use sarcasm a lot when people ask me obvious questions because I just can't bring myself to answer you straight and direct. It's like you're asking me, I don't know, like just obvious questions. Say I come back and you're asking me, have I come back? You really want me to answer you yes or no? Like, sarcasm is going to come into play in that situation. And my brother likes to ask obvious questions. It's like, it's just reflex at this point. I'm sorry. Okay. What is one thing that you wish you did more? One thing I wish I did more is I wish I wore my glasses more. So I've realized that I only take my glasses seriously when I'm outside my house. Like if I have to go to school, I'll wear it because I want to see. If I have to be on the road, I would wear it because I want to see. But once I'm at home, I that thing is not touching my face. There is no reason why. In fact, I forget that I use medicated glasses at that point, which is bad because I'll be straining my eyes to watch TV, the light from my phone, my eyes will be hurting, and I would just not use them. So I wish I wore my glasses more because the world is brighter and clearer when I do. What else do I wish I did more? I wish I appreciate Ted. I wish I appreciated people in my life more. You know, just show them that you love them more often. And that's something I hope to do more of. Yeah. What language besides your native language would you like to learn? I've been talking about how much I want to learn new languages for like the past 2 months, even if I've not actually tried. And when you say besides my native language, I don't even speak my native language. Unless you're considering English as my native language, because that's the lingua franca in this country. So, besides English, I would actually like to learn how to speak Igbo, because that's my native language. I would like to learn how to speak Ikwe. I would also like to learn how to speak Hausa. That's for Nigerian languages. And Bini, yeah, that's for like Nigerian languages. Then non-Nigerian languages. I'd like to learn how to speak French fluently, how to speak Dutch, because I feel like Dutch is a very good language to gossip in, because a lot of people don't know how to speak Dutch. Most people speak Spanish, French, Italian, but Dutch, do they? No, they don't. So yes, I would like to learn how to speak Dutch. I think that's it. I don't know. Anyway, it's not like I'm even putting effort to learn anyone right now. But if I were to start, I'll probably start with Igbo. I mean, why not start with what is closer to me? Yeah. Next question: scary movie or happy endings? Happy endings, please. Please. I will watch romance movies only for the rest of my life if I could, because I don't like action. I don't like adventure. What other genre is there? I definitely don't like horror. I don't like thrillers. But you see, I can watch all these other genres if there's romance, if there's going to be a happy ending. And there are some romance movies that there's it's a sad ending. Take The Fault in Our Stars, for example. I don't want to watch what is going to make me cry. But then sometimes it's interesting. Generally, happy endings, happy endings, happy endings. No scary movies, please. Thank you. If money didn't matter, what would you get for your next birthday? Hmm. If money did not matter, I would probably get a condensed microphone and a sound card, a recorder, a laptop, and headphones for my podcast. Then I will go on vacation because I'm tired of this state. It doesn't even have to be another country, but I don't remember the last time I left this state. I'm tired of this state that I am in. My gosh, I school here, I live here, my entire life revolves here. So if money didn't matter, I would probably go on vacation. I need it. I deserve it. I need a change of scenery. What else would I get for my birthday if money didn't matter? Those are the two top things on my head. So yes. What do you love about podcasting so far? I love how much I've seen myself grow. Cause there are some episodes I would record and I would listen to them maybe to edit before I post them. I'm like, wow. Me now would not say this thing, or me now wouldn't even think like this. So I think I love hearing myself grow. I also love, I feel like it's a good way to build confidence about speaking, because when I started, I couldn't even listen to my own voice, So I love that about it too. What else do I love about it? I just love that I get to share my thoughts. That's what I love about podcasting so far. Yeah. Favorite podcasts to listen to. My favorite podcasts to listen to. I listen to I Said What I Said podcast. I listen to the Fikemi Aderoju podcast. Those are like the top two for now. I can't think of any more. I don't generally listen to a lot of podcasts or other podcasters, to be very honest, because I feel like their content is not necessarily what I want to listen to. I like to listen to personal, like things that resemble my own podcast, and the one I mentioned, the Fikemi Aderoju podcast, is kind of like that. Kind of shares her own life, so I like to listen to that. Then I like to listen to I Said What I Said because it's funny, especially when they are dealing with people's dilemmas. It's hilarious. So yeah. Um, this is the last question. What's your happiest memory from this year? What was my happiest memory from this year? I feel like I was my happiest on like during my birthday. I think that would be my happiest memory because I was so nervous and anxious about aging that I didn't even let myself enjoy my 17th year. But then on my birthday, on the day of my birthday, and like that whole month, I had a blast. I had a blast. I really enjoyed it. So I think that I would say that's my happiest memory from the month, from this year. Sorry. So yeah, my birthday was my happiest memory from this year. Okay, those are all the questions that I got, and I hope I have, what's the word, sufficiently answered them. I hope this has also given you an insight to who your host is and is to come. So yeah, we've come to the end of this episode. Like, share, subscribe, 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 and you will hear me in the next podsode. Love and light.